For the third assessment task, I've chosen to focus on the design for the digital interface of the Western Sydney University app, as it specifically links to other features that are prominent within the Western Sydney website, and that's something that can definitely be improved through a more corrected digital interface. Several issues arise from the Western Sydney app, one of them being that a lot of the systems that are needed within the Western Sydney app are something that you have to look for on other apps, meaning that a student would have multiple different apps for the same university rather than having everything in one. A big example of this is important features such as the timetable access, the shuttle bus redirectory, mapping systems, the library app, as well as different student email accesses, authentication, and the Blackboard app. The app also isn't designed for specific users. It doesn't take into account the fact that users can be international or domestic. They could be on different campuses. They might have different access to information, as well as the fact that they could be studying different courses. An issue that also arises is that specifically on Android, as well as being an occasional problem on iOS, is that the app itself keeps crashing when you try to access the maps and the campus-specific information. The app doesn't function as well as a mobile app, one of the biggest reasons being that it often uses redirectory links to the website itself, which the website isn't compatible with the phone or an iPad interface, and is something that needs to be worked on to better suit an iPad or a phone. Another issue is that it heavily relies on redirect links that take users to other dead links, such as MyWestern, for example, which is something that has been recently changed, although there are other inactive spots across the website that still need to be fixed up but can be accessed through the MyWestern app. This hence leads me to my problem statement being that students rely heavily on digital platforms to manage their academic lives, yet the existing Western Sydney University app suffers from poor navigation, inconsistent functionality, limited integration between services, and as a result, students spend unnecessary time searching for information or missing important deadlines and experiencing frustration when completing routine tasks. As designers, we should aim to create an app that meets its intended function and goes beyond the necessary features to create a better app experience. Through doing research across multiple methodologies, I was researching the app as a user from the Parramatta City campus, and through that I understood the different features within the app itself. My second piece of methodology was interviewing staff members and teachers on how they would use the app, and most people say that they don't need it because they have access to their own vehicle, and upon asking teachers who do use the app, they say they only use it for the shuttle bus, meaning the app does have potential and should not just be limited to being something that is only for the shuttle buses. Upon asking further question, a lot of the teachers also said that the shuttle bus wasn't the most reliable piece of information, as the bus would often be either delayed or would be earlier than expected. My third piece of methodology was going around and asking students within my campus, that being the Parramatta City campus, on what they would use the app for. And a lot of the remarks were something similar to they didn't know when their assignments were due, and they couldn't access it over their phone unless they downloaded a separate app. They often complained about being recommended to other campuses even though they only need information from their home campus or the other campus that they go to based on their other subjects. And another remark was that since this campus is a vertical campus, it's not much of a sticky campus, and therefore it has the least social life, and the app is hence needed to get more work and more access to information, since you wouldn't be able to ask your peers the same questions. The fourth methodology was going around and asking students from different campuses, different courses, and different experiences with apps, such as them either being domestic or international students. And a lot of the remarks were that the app should be more customized to fit and align with different types of users. The fifth methodology was comparing the Android and the iOS system, which essentially worked the same, with the same issues of the app crashing, as well as it working on a redirectory system. And upon doing further research, the app also works on something like a MacBook, which is on an iOS system, but you would also still need to have Safari or Chrome open, as it doesn't work on its own. One of the proposed solutions that I've come up with is to hire a UI/UX designer to design the Western Sydney app in a way where all these issues are solved, such as the redirect links being completely gone from the app, as well as something that allows more integration of newer features such as AI assistance within the app. This solution would be the most professional, as well as something that allows integration and feedback from staff and students. And the second proposed solution could be getting students of the university who are experienced in UI and UX design to be the ones to design the app, and this would allow more customization, would be less professional but would be more cost effective, and would also be way more customized in comparison to something that a professional would make. If the app were to be more customized, you would need to have logins through Microsoft, which can be another problem. But however, the time taken to get access to the app once adding more inconvenience can solve the initial problem and get rid of the direct student customization, and can still work in a way where the factors don't have to be catered to specific students but can be more broad. Other redirects that would be appropriate would be links to Transport NSW, which is something needed by most students as well as staff, and should be something that's integrated within the app design. Here are two designs of my proposed solution. The first one shows a more improved prototype of the Western Sydney University layout, with the giant pop-up banner for the open day being something that's just a banner notification at the top, with more important and on-demand information such as the shuttle bus access being over here, with the selection option of shuttle buses on the side to change campuses based on if you have if the student or the staff has any other subjects. Timetables are also something that's needed on demand, and so that's why that would also be put on the first row. And services is also quite important, and so that would also go on the first row. Another thing that I've swapped out is the campus and the support features being swapped around, because campus information would be more on demand, and stuff like support and other settings in regards to the app would be on the side. And the second screenshot shows how towards the bottom, as you start to load the app, there would be something in the corner that acts as like an AI assistant or Western Assist, as labeled by a few of my peers, and that would be a better, more accessible option for people who are either using the app for the first time, are international, or are differently abled users.